Hey everybody, I am glad to be back. Don't exactly know how long this is going to be tonight because it has been a long day, and I also have a very, very early morning for tomorrow. But we're going to share the little bit we got, and as well, let's go. Hey, I hope everybody had a great last week. We've had some very exciting things going on, and um, I don't know. I'm kind of excited about where we are. I'm excited about the opportunities, but at the same time, I'm afraid. We have we've had a little situation where we've had some people who may not have wanted to sign the NDA, but nevertheless, they did their due diligence and was able to find um, some stuff that I thought was off the internet at the time. So they actually they found part of the technology and they want to do business per se, and hopefully they do. But I had the struggle of what if they try to take it because they're richer than I am. They're in a different country. They have the means, the wherewithal, and that has been a constant thing that has continually show up. How people are talking about it can be taken, it can be taken away from you, or it can be someone can come in and steal your idea. And sometimes people bring up about the different great texts that have been stolen. And it worried me last night. It had me to the point that I was getting up and I was like, oh man, like this is a real thing that they can take this idea and get to market before I do. And you have all these fears. Every time I have introduced the tech in some way, someone has introduced fear. And what I realized last night was, is it mine or not? Is this idea, has it been given to me? Is it, is God playing a game with me? Or is this really mine? Right? And it is. It is my tech. And I had to really come to peace with what if someone stole the idea? And I say that tonight because I don't know. I don't have any certainty of what's going to happen in the future. I know what I believe. I know what I feel in this moment. I know I have a choice that I can either walk in fear or I can play it safe. And what I feel that and I didn't get here. I didn't get here because I just got something you don't. No, I struggled last night. I mean, I could not sleep. I could not sleep because I kept thinking, man, these folk could come straight in and take this idea, and there ain't nothing I can do about it. Nothing. And they got all this money, they got all this power, and here I am, a little kid from Yazoo City, who dares to think that they can start a tech company and do all of this stuff. I mean, that stuff had me up last night, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then I just like, word ain't gonna help anything, nothing. And the question I asked myself again, or what I felt my spirit asked me, did God really give me this idea? Did He really give it to me? And I believe that He has, and all the evidence shows that He has. But we're stuck in this middle right now, like we don't know what's gonna happen next. But I'm gonna go on record and I believe that it's still gonna work. I'm gonna go on record and believe what my gut is telling me, that this is my idea, and I have no reason to be afraid. I have no reason to fear that someone's gonna take it from me. When I started filmmaking 10 years ago, and I tell this story often about how I didn't know how to make the calls. And there were people laughing at me on set because I didn't know when to say action. Someone used to have to bump me and say, now say action. And I remember coming to this great realization one day. I before I came to the realization, I was afraid to come to set because my stomach was in knots all the time. Because I was embarrassed because I didn't know the calls, I didn't know the terminology. I was straight up embarrassed. But it clicked in my head one day. I am the only person here that knows what this is supposed to look like and what this is supposed to feel like. Because I wrote the story. And I called a meeting and I called everyone together and I said, look, if you don't know what I'm saying, then raise your hand. I forgot all about protocol. I forgot about I didn't know film etiquette. I didn't even know the commands. So I just did what I could. And even as I say that right now, I feel assurance coming in because that's all I have ever done. I'm going to do what I know to do till I know what to do later. And right now, all I know to do is keep moving forward. Could these people betray me? They could. Could they get into the market? They could. But that's not going to stop me from doing what I know to do. I'm just going to keep moving forward, man. I'm going to keep laying one more brick every day to make this thing become a reality. And that's all I can do. When I start talking about the energy of ownership, I asked myself, what does it feel like if I know this is mine? And I held on to the feeling. And the feeling was not anxiousness. It's just like this cup. I know this cup is mine. Why am I going to worry about somebody coming and taking mine? I started to focus on the feeling of it. What does it feel like if I knew it was mine? And any feeling that started to come that was different than that, I started to resist it because I know what fear feels like. Fear is torment, man. And I have never seen anybody worry themselves into a good situation. It took me a long time to start realizing how I felt internally was more important than the actions that I was going to do. So this whole 1, 2, 3 manifest, I have to do this daily. I have to identify where I am, self-regulate, and wait for the inspired action. And sometimes the inspired action is not happening because I did not spend enough time regulating, trying to get those emotions to where they needed to be. And what is really cool about what I'm doing here at this point is that I'm going to be able to point back to these nights, these situations where I wasn't sure. And when it succeeds, I can come back and say, you know something, I said it that night. Or I remember that night where I was afraid, or I was terrified, or I was telling with you, I didn't know what was going to happen next. This has become more of a cathartic venture for me. And for those of you who are, for whatever reasons, tuning in to see what I'm doing and what I'm talking about at this phase, I'm hoping that it gives you some hope to go start reaching towards your dream. Because I am in the midst of uncertainty at this point. I'm in the midst of uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, I had a sleepless night last night where I was afraid. And if I'm coming on here telling you that I was afraid, but I'm still moving forward, I hope that you can pull from these moments and realize, oh, I was there with him that night. I remember when he was saying, like, yo, they didn't sign the NDA. I don't know if they're going to hijack the idea or not. But that's the beauty of this journey because it's still exciting. It is terrifying. The uncertainty is not always comfortable. Like tonight, it is not uncomfortable. It's not comfortable. It wasn't comfortable last night. But I'm showing up, sharing it with you all, and I'm hoping that you all are implementing some of this towards your dream. I don't know what your dreams are, but if I can be here bearing it all, showing you, I'm hoping that it's inspiring you in some type of way. You know, when I first started the social experiment, I didn't know how I was going to be. And I think I had the mindset that I was going to come on and try to impress people. But I'm like, that's not going to help nobody long term. You know, long term is letting them see, well, look, I'm in the same place you're in. I'm facing the same things you are facing. But this is how I got over this week. It was a whole lot of self-regulating. It was a whole lot of self-regulating because what I did make up in my mind last night was I was not going to make another action until I felt inspired. Now, that terrified me more than them taking the tech because there's this need inside of me to feel like I need to be doing something. But what my inner being was saying, how I felt was the most important thing. So I pushed everything to the side and I focused solely on how I was feeling. I said, no, I'm not going to be in this state of fear. If it takes me all day, I'm going to self-regulate until I get out of the fear. That's what I did this morning. The inspired action hit about 2:00. No, it hit at 1:30 today. And I had a meeting at 2:00 And when I say it hit quickly, and it was one of the best meetings I've had in a long time. We have reset our strategy just in case. We have pivoted the move that we're on. And I really like this one better. It helps us get to market much faster. It helps us need less capital to get there. So in some ways, the fear of that threat has been a blessing to me because now it's made me think leaner and how to get there quicker and how to get there faster and more efficient. When I got the team on the call, I shared with them what I felt like God had given me as far as the new direction on how we're going to take the tech and move forward. What's the strategy that we're going to use? And the energy was amazing. Everybody's energy was amazing. People had stuff to contribute. It just seemed like everything clicked. And then I realized I had shifted out of the energy state that I was in, and it was affecting everything that's around me. When I shifted out of the fear into the energy of ownership, that look, this is mine and nobody can take this from me. When I really shifted, when I really put the work in to get there, it was evident. But I had to wait on the inspired action before I made it. And I had an inspired action to call one person who had not been on the team, and I just called them because they were in my spirit. And when I called them, their energy was great. I said, "Hey, I got 20 minutes. I got half an hour to jump on this call. Let me tell you what's going on. You've been following what I'm doing. Can you help?" And they were like, "Yeah." And as soon as they got on the call, they were instant offense. And that's what I'm sharing with you today. How you feel is more important than what you do at that time. If you get the feeling right, then the actions will align. But a lot of times, what I was doing was I would carry all this fear inside of me, and I was trying to make good decisions and good moves and not deal with the fear. I was being cut. It was just making me just react, and I wasn't moving from a place of alignment. And because I was not moving from alignment, a lot of those things that I was trying to happen wasn't happening. That's why I'm so confident that this is going to do well because I'm going to stick to this commitment that I'm going to not make moves until I have the inspired action. And I'm going to make how I regulate my emotions my top priority. So, look, didn't have a lot to share tonight. Don't know if you have any questions, but that's what I felt like I needed to share, what I needed to give you. And if you don't have any questions, I'm going to stop. I'm going to give it a few minutes and let you catch up with it. But I hope everybody had a good week. I hope that everybody is moving, or trying to make, try to make another step. And that's the other thing. It's just that one move every day. If you can get that one move every day, it's going to start adding up and things are going to start happening. Um, Shout out to my team, Esther, the Women of the 100 had a very successful week last week with the Ingenue Ellis Project. Big shouts out to them. Everybody who was involved. I think it was a very good meeting, transformative meeting. Made some real good friends. I wasn't up there a lot, but I was definitely there to show my support. But I say this all the time: they're not better than us. And one of the things, one of my, I think Jessica reached out and was saying that she sent me a clip that Sanaa Lathan was talking about some of the stuff we teach in our acting class or that we even teach on here. She was saying whoever has the calmest nervous system wins the room, right? And that's what we've been discussing here about regulating this nervous system. Well, look, hope you all got some tonight. God bless you. We're going to go back at it tomorrow. Like I said, we had some fear about someone possibly taking the device, but I'm here to tell you tonight, I'm not in fear anymore because I have taken ownership. This is what God has given me. And we're going to let time bear us out to see it's true, but in my heart, I already know we've won. All right. God bless you. Talk to you soon.